Summarizing. It is important to remember that summarizing is not limited to educational purposes or assignments. Summarizing is quite versatile and can carry over into different aspects of life outside of the classroom or outside of the learning experience in an institution. As there are so many things, such as summaries, can be used to identify the main ideas or arguments in different texts or articles. It also assists in that it can help the reader find and narrow down the specific things they are looking for in a variety of different texts and reading resources. Summaries can also save time in different aspects of communication at work. Summarizing can be used when researching or studying even, and it can be used when completing a required educational assignment. The following are things to remember when writing a summary. First and foremost, when writing a summary, you must read the original text of the author, and in that, the first thing one should do is find the main idea of the text. What was the author's purpose? Why did they write the text? After identifying the main idea, one should put it into their own words. It is essential to remember that you cannot restate the exact same thing the author said, but you must process and just reiterate or put it in your own, the main idea in your own words. It is essential to remember that there shouldn't be any unnecessary information included as well. The goal is to consolidate the information while reiterating the author's main idea and argument and communicating it in a smooth and flowing manner. After you read the text at least once, it's always good to read the original work or reading a second time, and often, if necessary, a third time. During the second time or third time, that is when you'd want to identify the important arguments. The main arguments need to be in one's own words, again, and not copied word for word from the author. It is important to pull out each important argument so as to not leave anything essential behind or left out. And note, only essential parts of the original author's writing should be included in the summary. After identifying the important arguments and the main ideas, it is important to now start writing the summary. The summary should include either or both the author's name and title of the text or article in which you are summarizing. And the source that one is summarizing should always be found in the reference list. Now, additional things to remember when writing summaries is do not rewrite the original piece. It is not the goal. Writing a summary is not the goal of just rewriting the piece, but it is summarizing what the author said, their main ideas, their main arguments, putting it into your own words, and really just making the piece shorter, straight to the point. It's also important to remember to keep your summary short. Or if it's an assignment for a course, you keep it to the required length. A summary should never be longer or double the size of the original work. It should always be smaller and more condensed. Another thing to remember is to use your own wording. One should be careful to make sure to use your own wording, and as it is plagiarism if they use the author's wording or even too close, like the sentence structure is the author's. It's also important to refer to the central and main ideas of the original piece in the summary, and to not forget that that is the bulk of the summary and should be referenced. It's important. The next one is to read with the who, what, when, where, and why, how questions in mind, as these can help narrow down what the main idea is, what are the main arguments of the text, and what was the intended purpose of the author. Do not put in your opinion of the issues or topic discussed in the original piece. It is always essential to remember that summaries should remain objective. Lastly, it is essential to remember that just listing headings that are pulled throughout from the original piece is not a summary and should not be included in a summary.